All right, hello everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about Swift's owner op for like insurances. So either going with, let's say, a Swift insurance or a like Seabright or something like that, which is a external insurance. That would be like an insurance that you would have to actually get yourself. And I've been in the talks with Seabright, which I was recommended by Contractors Corner. Contractors Corner is a Swift, I think Swift exclusive, like consultant group. Anyway, like with Swift and their insurance, you have to have their cameras. With the camera, they do like a point system. So if you're speeding or hard braking or following too closely, or you do a U-turn or things like that, you get points. And if you get so many, or you get like a really bad accident and they see it on the camera and they deem that you were at fault, or there's a event that's major enough, they'll essentially let you go. Um, Whereas with Seabright, which is who I'm looking at, you don't need the cameras. You could get your own camera. Swift also has some other camera that you could opt into, which is $800. With the $800 camera, essentially what it is like a coaching camera, like a self-coaching camera. It'll tell you if you're taking turns too sharp or too hard. It'll tell you if you're going too fast and whatever else it does. Kind of similar to driver IQ, I guess, or the driver eye, or whatever they call that. Um, so if, like, for example, for me, I'm looking at getting a 2019 Kenworth T680, roughly around $100,000, $520 a week. And with that, it would be like a total of $450 to $500 because I need to get workman's comp. Workman's comp through Seabright is super expensive, so I will go with Swift's workman's comp, but it doesn't affect the cameras. All Swift is mainly worried about is the accident, essentially. It's $1,000 deductible for $450, $500 a month. Whereas Swift, it's $717 a month, at least for me. And it doesn't really cover as much. With Seabright, though, I have everything written down here from the pamphlets they sent me, like the PDF documents. So essentially, they have like a thing called travel expense coverage, which is around $100 that they cover for local travel expenses. Another $250 they cover for hotel costs. Another $500 for general travel expense. Uh, like not local, I guess. I guess the local one would be for like gas or something if you got like a rental car. I'm not sure. Then there's extra expenses, which is from the result of an accident, because that's what the travel expense coverage is for. Is if you get in an accident and you need to Uber or taxi to a motel, whatever you paid for that Uber or the taxi, you'll get reimbursed. Whatever you pay for the motel, up to $250 you'll get reimbursed. And they even said something about covering the rental car if you get a rental car. I don't have that down on here because that's just something she gave me through word of mouth. But then they also have a, like, for the physical damage, which is what Swift is really worried about, with Gap. So if the truck is totaled, they'll cover the remaining costs. That's with a $1,000 deductible, or you could pay a little bit extra and you get no deductible. I don't know how much extra you have to pay. She made it seem like it's not a whole lot extra, so I'd have to check with her to see. But it's $343, assuming my truck is worth $103,000. With the optionals that I could opt into, which would be deduct or deduction, or yeah, a deduction buyback, of $45, glass buyback of $15, and a $1,000 personal, which means like if I have a computer or like my belongings or bed or so on and so forth, they'll cover up to $1,000 for that. That's for $6.25. Then other things like the occupational, if you are in a state where you could do occupational. I know Michigan and North Carolina are ones that you cannot do that. Well, if you can, it's only $130, which isn't too bad. It's around $35 a week, which is roughly what Swift's workman's comp cost. Then you have your business overhead, which I don't know what that does. She didn't really explain that to me, but that's $32. You have non-trucking liability, which I also don't know what that one is, which is $29. And then you have accident reimbursements, which is $25. And all of these are monthly. With Swift, I don't know fully what they cover, but I know what they do cover for like the MRP lease that I'm going into. It would be obviously physical damage. I believe it comes with GAP as well. They do have a window repair thing, which is like the glass buyback. That's what the glass buyback is. I don't know how much it is exactly. That would be one thing that I want to look at, like the price differences. Since I have the prices here, I'd like to know the price difference between Swift and Seabright for that. Because if the glass buyback is like $3 or something, it might be $3 with Swift. So if it's $3, that would end up being cheaper. Then there's the $1,000 personal, but I don't think Swift covers that at all. I do know they have a glass buyback, but I don't think they have the personal, and I don't think they have the deductible buyback. Oh, that's what the deductible buyback is for, actually. So if you want the deductible buyback, it means your $1,000 deductible is now $0. So for an extra $45 a month, which 343 plus 45, that would be $388 instead of $343 if your truck is worth $103,000. So I mean, it's not too bad. I think what I want to opt into, the total would be right around $470 plus the $130 for Swift's like workman's comp. So $470 plus $130, which would be $600 instead of the $717. So it's around $117 savings versus going fully with Swift, and that's per month. And you get more coverage and no deductible. So if something happens, you have no deductible. Whereas with Swift, you will have a deductible and you have to have the camera. With Seabright, you don't need that camera. You can get your own camera, obviously, because you want a camera to protect yourself, but you don't want it to be company controlled. So what I'm thinking about doing is going with Seabright here, and that's what I'm pointing this video toward, is promoting Seabright pretty much. Because Charlie from Contractor's Corner, he recommended them. If you tell Seabright that you have been recommended by Contractor's Corner or Charlie, but you don't have to say Charlie, you can say Contractor's Corner, it doesn't matter. They will give you a discounted rate, which is this rate here that I'm giving. This would be the discounted rate, whereas If you do not say you're coming through Contractor's Corner, they won't give you this discounted rate. You have to have the referral from Contractor's Corner to get this rate. Um, and as I said, it's literally the same thing as Swift's coverage, essentially. Uh, the only thing it doesn't cover that Swift does, outside of the things that it covers that Swift doesn't, would be another Swift driver. If you wanted another Swift driver, you have to go with Swift's insurance, due to the fact that it covers both of you for the price of one. And it's or not recommended, but like, let's say you become a mentor and you're a owner out for Swift as a mentor, you are required to have Swift insurance. No ifs, ands, or buts. Whereas with Seabright, though, you can't. But if you want, like, let's say a significant other or a family friend or a sibling or a son or a daughter, you can, but it's not through Seabright. You would have to pay through Swift. So whatever it cost for Swift, which is an optional opt-in, outside of the $717 that they would be charging me. I'm not sure what it cost, but it is a optional opt-in, and then you could bring someone else, and you can mix and match as well. So like, if you work with Swift and you're like, this is what all of these things cost right here, you could tell them like, my glass buyback is $15, or my personal coverage of $1,000 if I get in an accident or my truck catches on fire is at $1,000 that they cover for $6.25. And Swift is like, hey, we offer that for cheaper per month. Then you could choose Swift over Seabright for that, and then just keep whatever else you want with Seabright. However, if you don't want the cameras, you are required to have the physical damage. You have to have the physical damage through Seabright, because through Swift, it is required to have that camera. But yeah, anyway, I'm just recommending Seabright because you could control the camera yourself, and it not invade your privacy. And then on top of that, if you buy the camera and let's say the camera has a monthly subscription, you could use that as a tax write-off as well. The cost of the camera plus the monthly subscription could be used to write off on your taxes, so then you pay less taxes. Whereas obviously with Swift, you're paying more for the insurance and you're not getting that tax write-off, but that's very minor, honestly. But yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about here today. Hopefully you guys find it helpful, interesting, and I would definitely give them a call. It's pronounced Seabright. You would think it's SEA, but it's SE Bright, BRITE, and then you could search that in Google and they pretty much pop up as the first option. At least they did for me. I'm not sure if they will for you, but you'll find them. And if you don't, you could go to contractorscorner.cc, I believe, and you should be able to find it on there. But yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day.